feet floating, someone laughs, turns, says you're out on time to meet. Ducking lights blink soft, inviting, like a heartbeat in the dark. Metal pedals gently sliding, open up a brand new start. Welcome to the Inspirational Station, where the small blue world looks so far, so near. Every orbit is an invitation. Write your name across the atmosphere, from the ground and from beyond the constellations. We've been waiting for you here. We've been waiting for you here.
Oh, my friends. Oh, my friends. Welcome aboard the Inspirational Space Station, my friends, here on Earth Day. Is there a better day to get outside and look in? I don't think so. Let me set all my flight controls here. We're off to a good start here tonight. Weather's clear, storms have passed. Earth Day all day today. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the vibe. I've been outside. I've been walking. I hope you have too. So glad to have you with me here tonight. What camera do I have tonight? Hell, there you are. So glad to have you with me tonight. I know there's a debate night. We can catch up on all that later. Much later. Tonight, we're the opposite. We're actually avoiding all that reality and coming up here to the happiest place on Earth. Low orbit. Just barely above Earth. If you look straight up, it's not that far, really. Glad to have you. You know what? Tonight's really special, super special for me. You know, before I even get started, let me make sure I got my people over. I want to see who I saw some loves already. Where is my chat happening? I see my pinned comments. Interesting. I see I'm live. I can't see my chats. Well, I'll work on that during a video that I'll be playing, because I'm going to play a lot of things for you tonight. This is a super special night for me. Boy, I've been involved in music production, film production, animation, live production, stage stuff, bands, nightclubs, concerts, you name it. I've had in my hat and a little bit of everything. Area 51 even right there. But I really have a real love for animation and particularly old school stuff. This is why I actually sported right here, the Silly Symphony, Disney's Silly Symphony. That I've just had to get for this show, because it connects everything. It's the analog to my digital world that you see around you right now. Know, too, by the way, that everything I'm going to show you tonight, which is a collection of my new series. I know I played little bits and pieces of Stan the Skeleton Man for you about the last 3 months since I started this season 13 of Tiny House Live and Inspirational Space Station, in which you find yourself right here in low orbit. I've been working on these new processes, new software, new options in life. They give me so much power to do what I want to do in my imagination. And as we all know, it's safer for everybody if I'm kept busy. So that being said, I'm plenty busy. You're all safe. And I've just come up with everything in my mind I can almost make happen these days. So I've decided to do what I've always loved doing, concentrate on storytelling. That's really all this is. I've been involved in making a number of different mythological, we call original mythologies. I go back to an organization, a loose group of friends called the Chefs of Heaven. And some of this material will be surfacing in my new software world. But in that period of time, I was developing all kinds of original mythologies. One based called the Jazz Elephant story, which I'm going to have to approach at some point in here. It's a giant opus that I feel like I need to do. So I'm going to get to it eventually. But what I'm really telling you is I've had my hand in a lot of stuff, animation as well. I had the pleasure of working and honor of working with Charles Schultz for nearly 3 years with Lee Mendelsohn Productions in LA, developing soundtracks with Paul Melendez and sound effects, making jugs play more than one note, little magic tricks, even back then. New technologies then, new technologies now. Make a few adjustments in here. Keep this thing flying in the right direction. Yeah, not too much of this or that. Okay, I got it. You're right. You're all safe with me. I want to see who's over here. I know you're there. I can't get my chat yet. Where am I? I know I got chats going on. Don't, or you keep chatting. I'll catch up with you. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Overview. Interesting. I don't know. I know you're there. Give me somebody. Send me up some loves and hearts. Make sure I see that pop up. There you go. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing my chat. I want to see you. I guess I could refresh. Yeah, see, I got hearts coming up. I know you're there with me, but I can't tell who you are. Well, I'll try to be working on that. I got lots of hearts. I get a feeling there's more people out there than I think there is, and maybe that's a good thing. You know, I want you to sit back tonight. What have I got tonight? I'm unofficially sponsored by my Salt Point Greyhound, and I'd be a liar if I didn't mention I mixed a little bit of Red Bull with it just to experiment as a space juice, and quite favorable results, I might add. So, a little extra star power tonight. Star power. I've got stories tonight, and once again, I'm going to relate to you. This is an opportunity to share my series, Stan the Skeleton Man. He's a skeleton so good we had to name him twice. That being said, he is in charge of this Inspirational Space Station, which I was in the process of building up there in space when I ran into him. How he got into space being a rigid bag of bones, I have no idea. These are part of the original mythologies that will unveil themselves to us as this storyline progresses. And I will tell you that it progresses daily, weekly, sometimes by the minute, and it progresses with the help of my friends. So as you're watching all this stuff tonight, I want you to think about, well, what else could Stan do with Tiny House Cat? Where could Stan go in the universe? And what does Stan do with the aliens? There's a lot of questions to answer, and there's a lot of questions to ask. These are things that we are going to discover tonight. And that being said, I think the best place to do is for me to have a sip of my space juice. Enjoy the musical vibe around you. Once again, these videos and music now is all 100% mine. First time in my lifetime that is a truth. It's nothing I had to be begged, borrow, or steal to use. This is all mine, manipulated just for you and for me, because I love doing this kind of stuff. All right, let's pick up the story. We're going to jump into the pilot seat here, head off to, I think we need to first catch up with how the story begins with our man Stan. I think we'll just play a brief little introduction to him in his universal state that I found him, and then we'll come back and pick up the story, and we're going to kind of fill in back and forth. So in the meantime, I am going to get over here and check on my chat and see why I can't see you all. But that being said, no worries. I got you. We're all here. And enjoy tonight. Stan the Skeleton Man and the many adventures to come. All right? With me? Are you with me? All right. I'm with you.
I've got something really special for you all tonight, everyone. Follow me.
dope, huh? The station is dope, Paul says. I got my chats up now. There you go. I agree. The ISS is dope. It is dope. Well, there you go. There's how I found Stan. I found Stan drifting in space on a surfboard, surfing the nebula, and I said, dude, we need to talk. There needs to be some connection between you and me, because I'm building a space station up here, and I see you surfing the nebula, and I got to tell you, there's something we can do together. I know there is. And so I thought, when I finish this station, which you see right now, which is hovering basically in low orbit about 3 miles straight up. If you look up and wave right now, I might be able to see you. And, in construction of this, I made friends up here, because they noticed something was unusual was happening. And I've had these strange, and I believe I've had even shown you some of these strange signals that I've received from outer space. All that being said, when I found Stan out here floating around doing his thing in the nebula, I thought, you know what? This man needs to find it. I need to find him a job. He's too talented just to be out here in space, floating around, surfing all day, hanging out all night. Who knows what he does at night? And so I thought, who knows? Margaritas. I'm sure of it. Raspberry margaritas. Guarantee it. It's a raspberry margarita right there, right? Okay. That being said, I thought this man needs a job. He needs a job. I'm going to bring him aboard the space station, and see what we can do for the old man, for the rigid one, as we like to call him, the rigid one. And let's continue with our story here as we move on. We just brought Stan out there in the universe. Let's see what happens when we bring him into the space station and we start our new adventures together. Stan the Skeleton Man.
I've got something really special for you all tonight. Everyone, follow me. Skeleton doing at the hockey game, driving the Zamboni. Why are skeletons so calm? Because nothing gets under their skin. Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he had nobody to dance with. What do you call a skeleton with no friends? What's a skeleton's favorite plant? Bonsai. 6. Why can't skeletons play church music? Because they have no organs. What do you call a skeleton who goes out in the snow? A numbskull. At the joke because he didn't have a funny bone. 9. What does a skeleton order at a restaurant? Spare ribs. 10. How do French skeletons say hello? Bonjour. 11. What do you call a skeleton who rings the doorbell? A dead ringer. 12. Who won the skeleton beauty contest? Nobody. 13. What did one skeleton say to the other skeleton?
Apparently skeletons have a great sense of humor. I kind of knew that already. Nothing like some good skeleton jokes straight from the mouth. Straight from the mouth. Stan the skeleton man, making himself comfortable in the ISS with 10 good jokes that he had in his pocket. Wait a minute. Skeletons don't have pockets. Where do they keep their jokes? Oh, God, I wish I had a good skeleton return for that one. Either way, I'm looking for more skeleton jokes. Excuse me. So glad to have you with me tonight. And by the way, as I was just kind of watching these with you, because I've watched them a few times in consecutive order, and for me, I find it fun. I want to let you know that these are all really highly edited, beautiful sounding, by the way. I'm hoping that you don't have a telephone in your hand right now watching all of my work on your telephone, because I encourage you to watch this live in the best format you can while live on Facebook. I understand. And know that when I'm done with it tonight, I will be putting over the next week, 2 at the most, over to YouTube, where you can be watching this entire show on my ViralMediaArt YouTube channel. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It all helps. And yeah, it'll be over there where you can tune it into your YouTube channel. You can watch it on your big screen smart TVs that are like 98 inches wide, and they curve like the end of the moon. It's pretty amazing. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. Where am I? Over here again? My goodness. Hello. I feel like I'm starting over. Not really. I got my chat line up. I'm seeing loves come up. I'm seeing hearts coming up. I know there's some comments in there too. For some reason, I'm not keeping up on my comments very well. It's not moving my comments forward, but I see you're there. Love you dearly. And yeah, I see some people in there I love. There you are. Rojo was here. Oh, by the way, Rojo, where's my... I meant to have them handy. Rojo gave me some cups, condoms. See them right here? He gave me some condoms for my my earphones, just to make me nice and clean and sterile in here. I appreciate that, Rojo. Nice man, that Robert Joseph. Darn right. And Sonia, indeed. It was a pleasure. Last episode last month. Go back and watch it. It is up on my YouTube channel where you can enjoy it from all points of view in whatever device you like to use, except maybe a blender or your toaster. It doesn't work very well there. Let's see. Darn, it bothers me that I can't see all you wonderful people over here. I'm going to refresh again. Hang with me. Just stay right there. Don't go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. I got 26 comments. I know things are happening over there. I see them. Let me try this doorway of entry. All right. All right, I think I'm better. Yep. All right. Either way, I'm moving along. Looks. Yeah, I got a comment a minute ago, not from Gordon. Gordon, this has got to be your favorite show, bro. You know what? I wish this was a margarita. It's not, but in my world, we'll call it a margarita, a raspberry one. To Gordon. That's right. All right. But I digress. Now that I've got my chat line back up a little bit better, I can see you all clearly. I've got some hearts and loves that I can throw out there. Easy for me to do. It only took me a little while to feel like I'm comfortable in orbit. All right, my friends, you know where we're going next? Because I do. You know, once I got Stan up in the tiny house, from the tiny house, rather, to the space station, I realized he's going to get lonely up there. I mean, skeletons, you know, yeah, granted, they are used to being alone, but still, you know, nobody really always wants to be alone. It's great to have friends around. It's good to have a community around. It's good to have people you can connect with, to share things. Just like this, you know, just because I can, because we do, because it has to happen. I thought Stan really needed a friend. So I thought, you know, what's the best friend? For me personally, it's a personal show. I get to base some of the stuff on me. Some of the best friends I have been animals, and most of them have been cats. So I thought, Stan needs a cat. Stan needs a cat to join him from planet Earth up there and help him out on the ISS to do whatever can be done to help him on the ISS. And so I found our cat. I just named her Tiny House Cat, but you can call her THC. So that being said, I'm going to give you a little introduction right now. Stan will preface this again and then bring us up to a little Tiny House Cat opening just for you. Yeah.
I've got something really special for you all tonight. Everyone, follow me. Follow me.
In a vibrant tiny house in the deep hills of Pepperland, Tiny House Cat lived a life of minimalist luxury. Her home was a sleek, cedar-clad tiny house tucked below long white wisteria. Perfectly scaled for a feline who preferred high ceilings and low overhead. One morning, her whiskers twitched as a golden pager beeped. The professor was calling from the Inspirational Space Station. He had unearthly duties to attend to, stabilizing the rhythm of the spheres, and a fresh shuttle of galactic dignitaries had just docked. THC didn't dither. She stepped into her custom jetpack, snapped her clear spherical helmet shut with a satisfying hiss, and ignited her thrusters with a trail of stardust behind her. She soared through the atmosphere, piercing the veil of low orbit, until the ISS loomed like a giant, metallic dragonfly. Greetings, travelers, she purred, her voice broadcasting in melodic French, clicks of the Sirius star system, and perfect Martian. Welcome to the frontier of thought. Please, follow my tail for refreshments. As the ambassador of the I.S.S, she spent the afternoon smoothing over diplomatic ruffles with a well-timed head bump and expert navigation of the zero-gravity lounge. By the time the professor finished his calculations, her guests were purring in 3 different solar dialects, her unearthly duty done. THC ignited her pack and drifted back toward the colorful horizon of Pepperland, ready for a nap in her very tiny, very quiet home.
Yeah, and a little look around my studio as well for a second there. Well, welcome back. Yeah. Oh, where's my reverb? It makes me so much sexier. There you go. There's the reverb we know and love. Once again, thank you for helping me join this little animational expedition we're doing here tonight. There you met Tiny House Cat. She has her story. Now her story is now involved with us up at the Inspirational Space Station, where she's just now about to join her newest friend and companion. I'm going to jump straight into this because there's nothing to preface between. We've got Tiny House Cat now heading up to the Inspirational Space Station. Just follow her tail for refreshments, and where do we go next? Well, you should know by now. It's time for Stan and THC to actually hang out for a second, and stories continue right here. Tiny House Live. Love having you with me. Hang on.
Stan the Skeleton Man is a cosmic dream, with the tiny house cat by his side. Through the silent vacuum, they steadily glide through the galactic portal, open and wide. Orbiting high past the face of the moon, but from the deep void, a strange rattle and hum. Signals of mystery have finally come, leaving the human race rather numb. On the glowing display, while THC watches the star charts all day. They've tracked every whistle, every shimmer and ping. The invitation has been sent, let the children sing, to see what the depths of the universe bring. Down in Pepperland, in a house small and bright, the professor awaits their report in the night. From his tiny front porch, he looks to the sky as Stan sends the data from way up on high. Way up high.
There you have it, a formidable duo, it has been said. Agreed. What can they or can't they do now in space? Now that we have a custodian involved with the Inspirational Space Station and a companion for him, Tiny House Cat, THC. But they've received some strange signals from outer space. We've seen these signals before, if you think back to the first episode of season 13. They brought us with Eric Martin some interesting results and a visitation when Eric was here. It gave him some very strange results on some of his material, as I recall. Thank you, Eric, my friend, for always being here and making us all smile and just broaden our horizons in general. So big hugs out there to to the big band, the Big E, Eric Martin. And Rojo, of course, I'll bring you back up. Sonia for dropping in, doing the last episode of season 13. Where we go next, I don't even know yet. I'm just having fun with you here tonight. That's the main thing. We're still off. Now that we have THC and Stan floating in space, evidently up there having fun, doing what they do. They've received some signals, and you saw them. The alien chimed in there for a second and sent another musical signal, much like I've received before. And that kind of pushes our story even more forward now, because now evidently the alien is ready to actually meet with our characters on the station. And in these two little episodes marked together as a pair, we'll bring this alien aboard. You will meet Gamaha. That's right, the High Commander of the Astrogalactic Space Command. That's what he tells me anyway. I'm not really too sure. But either way, the story is evolving, and you're right in the middle of it. Hang with me. Hey, do you have your gravity boots on? Take your gravity boots off. You want to be lighter than air. Whatever you need to do tonight to make you feel lighter than air. Put your feet up, sit back, relax. I hope you're listening to this on something formidable. Turn it up. We've got bigger things to come, because I have super surprises for you as we continue on in our little episode here. We're doing really well on time. So time, space, it doesn't really matter much to me up here. Time and space have little to do with the Inspirational Space Station. Let's move forward right now as Gamaha arrives on the Inspirational Space Station.
The airlock of the ISS hissed open, venting a cloud of iridescent stardust. Out stepped Gamaha, a being whose skin shimmered like a dying nebula. He had traveled across the vastness of the universe, guided by years of encrypted subspace transmissions from the Professor. Waiting for him in the docking bay wasn't a welcoming committee of scientists, but a tall, rattling figure in a silver spacesuit. Stan the Skeleton Man. Perched precariously on Stan's bony shoulder was Tiny House Cat, a feline so small she looked like a fuzzy handprint. Currently licking a paw with total indifference to the alien intruder. You must be the guest of honor, Stan clattered, his jawbone clicking knockily. The Professor said you were coming, but he's currently stuck in a deep sea lab in Pepperland. I'm Stan, this is THC. We run the vibes up here on the ISS. Welcome. Gamaha tilted his head, his luminescent eyes scanning Stan's rib cage. Your internal structure is external. Gamaha noted, his voice sounding like wind chimes, and your biological companion is compact. I'm a classic Stan joke, extending a bony, heavy hand. And TAC is the real boss. We're here to show you the ropes before you head down to the surface. Earthlings are a confusing bunch. They love coffee but hate Mondays with a buffer. THC let out a microscopic meow that echoed through Gamaha's telepathic sensors. As a wave of pure, cozy contentment, Gamaha reached out a glowing finger, and THC leaned in to headbutt it. I see, Gamaha whispered, looking out the observation port at the swirling blue marble of Earth below. To understand the many, I must first understand the marrow and the fur. Exactly, Stan said, handing Gamaha a dehydrated taco. First lesson, Tacos. If you master the taco, the humans will follow you anywhere.
Gamma Hot took a bite, his form flickering bright green with curiosity.
The mission to understand humanity had officially begun. One skeleton and one tiny cat at a time.
It's been said that laughter is universal. And with the aid of his universal translator, the alien begins to communicate with planet Earth in the best way that seems possible. Why did the Martian throw beef on the asteroid? He wanted it a little meteor. How do Martians eat their ice creams in space? In floats? What is a Martian's favorite chocolate bar? A Mars bar. What is an alien's favorite place on a computer? The space bar. What did the aliens say to the tiny house cat? Take me to your litter. Where would an alien park his spaceship? A parking meteor! How did Stan the Skeleton Man get the baby to go to sleep? He rocked it. What do farmers need to create crop circles? A protractor. What kind of currency do aliens use? Starbucks! What do you get when you cross a weeping willow and an UFO? A crying saucer. What do you get when you cross an airplane with a magician? A flying saucer. Have you heard the one about the flying spaceship? Never mind, it's over your head. What did the alien say to the gas pump? Take your finger out of your nose while I'm speaking to you. What kind of music do planets sing? Neptunes. What do aliens like to read? Comic books. What do you call the Martian that can sing? Bruno Mars. What do you call a wizard who flies around in a UFO? The professor. How do you organize a space party? Give up, you planet!
What's all this foolishness going on down there? What's all this foolishness? Going on down there.
What's all this foolishness going on up here? That's the real question. That's the real question. Oh my goodness. Well, now we have things in their order. The alien has now aborted the space station. They've met, they've had conversations. I believe they've had coffee and tea. As I understand it, as the mythology goes, the original mythology goes, the aliens had originally visited our planetary system millennia ago, and as they were looking for life on this planet, not to necessarily seed or do anything, they were just investigating. They pulsed this planet with what would be in equal terms to us on Earth as a rather large E chord, that possibly an E diminished, if I were to guess correctly, onto the planet's surface in pulses of BPMs, beats per minute, at 120, and that's how they were testing for life. Now, they didn't find life here. All they found was the primordial soup, and they left. But what they didn't realize is those tones, those waveforms, actually stirred up the primordial soup and actually impulsed the molecules and the atoms to bounce together once again and actually form a life form that was sentient. Air, our species, long evolved from a musical tone of an E diminished and a pulsing beat of 120. We have human beings and music and how they relate to it. Now, that's my mythology, and that's what I'm telling you. Now, they've come back because they've noticed this unusual signal coming from the planet's surface that they can't pinpoint anywhere else. And now that there's been a link established to the planet's surface by the Inspirational Space Station, this is why my friends have contacted me and you to see if we actually should finally connect. It's not a question of they're here or not. Of course they're here. Do they want to connect with us? Why should they? Why would they? Why could they? They can, they will. We'll see. We're trying. That being said, we're going to continue on because what it turns out is what brought them to the Inspirational Space Station, Gamaha in particular, is that he recognizes the tones that were coming, and he found us to be the intermediary between the planet's surface and their source, wherever it may be. And now that the two of our characters, Stan and THC, are involved with the alien, they begin to speak in a musical language. I imagine it's probably based around an E chord. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. And I can almost guess it's going to be somewhere around 120 BPM too, but I don't know. That's just what the primordial soup said. And that's where we're going to pick up our story next, because now they're actually going to communicate in the best way that our species, whether it's a feline or marrow-based skeleton, can have with an alien visitor. They will have a musical conversation, and we'll see what really develops here. I have ideas, bigger things to come for our group. We don't know what to call them yet. This is the first jam that I found that they had. Enjoy this. There you have it. There you have it. Yet another episode. And we see what happens when the alien actually integrates his musical ideas together with our cast members there. Cast members. Stan and THC. And the result is an amazing language they spoke for the very first time playing that I had. Now, things have progressed quite a bit. As you know, jam sessions can progress. And once they begun to move their language further and realize what should be done with it, they worked on planning their E diminished chord. Where's that juice? That's what's missing. There you go. They're now ready to take their message forward to the planet Earth. And that's really what the story involves here, because this is what it's leading up to, is the fact that we are going to be having more concerts up here in the Inspirational Space Station. I believe there's other members of the species will be joining us. Any ideas that any of you have, you're more than welcome to throw them in on my messages any old time and see if I can apply them. You never know. I'm working on my own silly symphony, and you're all a part of it. And that's really what it comes down to. So right now, what happens? I'm telling you, these guys are about to explode. They're actually ready to burst onto the scene like no other trio has burst on the scene since we'll say Rush, Cream, dare I say Cream, and that's where we take our story next, live and in concert. The band, Galactic. What do they call themselves? Who are these guys? We'll find out.
Galactic Power Trio! 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 Stan, the skeleton man, didn't walk, he rattled. A 2D ink and paint creation, living in a 3D world. Stan was currently tuning his guitar on the Inspirational Space Station. Beside him, a tiny house cat, THC, a feline no bigger than a handprint with a meow like a distorted fuzz pedal, was busy sharpening her claws on the station's titanium hull. The acoustics in low orbit are trash. THC hissed, her cartoon whiskers twitching in the zero gravity. Let's get higher, Stan. That's why we have Gamma. Stan replied, his jawbone clicking. Gamma, an alien whisking the color of a nebulous sunset, was busy rerouting the station's life support into a massive amplifier. The Earthlings think we're just a weather satellite. Gamma warbled through his vocal synthesizers. They have no idea the biggest gig of the millennium is about to drop. They call their band the Galactic Power Trio. The plan
was simple but loud. Used the ISS as a giant resonator to broadcast a power cord so massive it would vibrate the very atmosphere, turning the entire planet into their personal mosh pit. Stan strapped on his boots, his white bones gleaming against the black void of space, visible through the viewport. Ready, everyone? We aren't just playing for the fans, we're playing for the stars. With a nod from Yamaha, the airlocks hissed. They didn't need oxygen, they had rhythm stand. Stepped out onto the exterior gantry, plugged his guitar into the station's solar array, and hit a loud distorted E chord. The shockwave didn't make a sound in the vacuum, but it sent a ripple of neon light across the aurora borealis. Down on Earth, millions looked up to see the sky pulsing in time with the skeletal groove. THC thrashed at her miniature drum kit, her tiny paws moving so fast they created heat signatures, while Yamaha shredded a bass riff that tasted like electricity. They played until the sun rose over the Pacific. Three outcasts, a cartoon, a critter, and a cosmic traveler, turning the silent void into the loudest stage in the universe for all to hear.
Galactic Power Trio!
interesting little thing about that little score you just saw a minute ago was something I created in 1983. And I'm sorry, I got totally distracted because I looked over at the chat line here, and Rojo just sent me a picture of his cat watching our show. You see the power of Tiny House Live when it's beamed all the way to space and back. Oh my goodness. Yeah, anyway, I created that original score out of a MIDI piece of gear many years ago, refed it into my new soundware, Suno, and reimagined it into electric guitar piece. Amazing stuff. Anyway, all original, all my own, everything you've seen tonight. Thank you for joining. What? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. Yeah? Really? Okay. Hey, the boys say they got one more. They got an encore. They have one more they'd like to sign off before we go. And sure. What do you? I wasn't aware of it, but if you got it, you got it. I'll throw it down, my friends. Galactic Power Trio, right here, one last time, coming right at you. Wow.
Galactic Power Trio!
There you go, boys. Galactic Power Trio. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of them. They're going to break the internet. Just like Angine Deportine. Angine Deportine. Remember those words. And let's see, what else can I tell you tonight? We're just going to pretty much wrap it up from there. It's been a fantastic Earth Day. Look at that. We're right at exactly 9 o'clock. Right on time, baby. Just like I called it. Fantastic. Love you all. Appreciate each and every one of you for joining me on this little cartoon adventure, as it were. I hope you enjoyed everything that's going on. You can message me. I've been getting some interesting messages over here already in the middle of the show here. And I love each and one of you for dropping it on me. Feel free to share this around. I hope it makes people laugh. Hope it inspires people. Yes, you can do these things. You can make anything you want. You can make it happen right there. You can paint magic little trees. Or mold clay, or invent things online. Software is amazing these days. Don't be afraid of the word AI. It's a big boogaboo. Using the powers of good for good. This is my mission. Thank you for joining me right here tonight. Earth Day, I want to thank you. I love each and every one of you dearly. I want to play my theme that I played on the intro just because it is Earth Day and I feel like it's appropriate to end the show just like that. Sending much love out to each of you. I'll see a lot of you tomorrow. And sorry, Stan, I can't keep going. I will be making more into the series as we propel our characters of this little original mythology that we have with Stan the Skeleton Man forward into the world. And by the way, pay attention to a little piece I'm going to put out for the Stephen Colbert, who's leaving us at the end of May. I have a little special tribute coming out to Stephen Colbert, which I think you'll really enjoy. So that'll be online out there fairly soon. Outside of that, watch for the next show coming up. I tend to do one of these each month, typically on a Wednesday, always on a Wednesday, but around the middle of each month. I'll probably have some live entertainment back in here next time. And bring some more colors and flavors into this primordial soup that is Tiny House Live, high above the hills of Petticoat. deep in the solar system, Inspirational Space Station, reaching out to our friends and families out there and down there. Happy Earth Day, my friends. I love you, and we're gonna beg our way out of here and head back down to the planet surface. I'll remind you to please do watch the debates that are going on tonight. Thank you for joining me because they were simultaneously virtual. So I want to thank you for that. And vote wisely. And I love you all. Thank you, dears. Bye.
Windows full of ocean blue earth, spinning slow beneath our feet. Coffee floating, someone laughs, turns, says you're out on time to meet. Ducking lights blink soft, inviting, like a heartbeat